Single elimination play continues. It is Game C, the 2025 Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference Softball Tournament. Our third game of this Thursday features the Game A winner, the 5th-seeded Raiders of the Milwaukee School of Engineering, and the 4th-seeded Cougars of Concordia University Chicago, returning to the NACC tournament for the first time since 2018. Thanks for being here. I'm Sean Fry. Our technical director is Bryce Suter, and he is hard at work getting all of the graphics ready that you're going to see here in a matter of moments. MSOE with a win in the opener today over 8th-seeded Aurora 4-1, eliminating the Spartans, and it was Alyssa Jacobson's 3-run home run as the third batter of the game that gave MSOE the lead they would not relinquish. Katie Pollock allowed just an unearned run in 7 innings, and MSOE earned the right to square off with the Cougars, play one more game to see who will be the third team into double elimination play. That begins tomorrow. MSOE now 20-21 on the season. They finished NACC play tied for 5th with a 15-9 record and took the number 5 seed on tiebreaker. Concordia Chicago back in the tournament, as I mentioned, for the first time since 2018. It is their 6th appearance overall. They're seeking their first NACC tournament title and just their 2nd NCAA tournament appearance, first one since 1984. It's their, as I mentioned, 6th time in. Their best NACC tournament finish was when they reached the final day of the tournament in 2018, but they are the only team in the field that has never been in the final of the NACC tournament. So there are a lot of things they're going to be trying to change after a huge single-season turnaround, 23-16-1. That is 12 games better than last season, the largest turnaround in program history. They finished 16-8 in the NACC to tie for third with Benedictine. They took the 4 seed on tiebreaker. But certainly not a team that's just going to be happy to be here. They want to be in the double elimination field. If they win, they would take on Concordia, Wisconsin tomorrow at 4 o'clock. If they lose, it'll be the Raiders squaring off with the co-conference champion Falcons. Let's bring you the lineups. They are about to be exchanged here at Bedrosian Stadium at Spartan Athletic Park here at Aurora University. And we'll start with the lineup for the visiting Raiders of Milwaukee School of Engineering. And it's similar but not the same to our Game 1 lineup. Autumn Sadler still catching and leading off for the Raiders. Jenna O'Donnell bats second and plays second. Alyssa Jacobson hits third and plays center field. It's Jada Nelson in the cleanup spot playing first base, and Carly Emery in right field will bat 5th. 1 through 5 are the same. Katie Pollock back in the 6th spot, but rather than pitch, she'll be the designated player for game number 2. Caroline Forrest is batting in the 7th spot again. She's still playing shortstop. In the 8th spot, it's Olivia Beals, but out of the designated player spot, she'll play third in game 2. And then a change and left field in the 9th spot, Emma Smith into the lineup for game 2 for the Raiders. Sadler, O'Donnell, Jacobson, Nelson, Emery, Pollock, Forrest, Beals, and Smith. Lineup for MSOE. And it's the freshman right-hander, Bryn Timmer, getting the start, saving the best for last, as we'll get to in a moment. 5-8 in 19 appearances, 15 starts, 47 strikeouts in 78 innings, and a 4.49 ERA for the freshman from Jenison, Michigan. So that is Sierra Spyu's MSOE lineup. Here's the lineup for longtime Concordia Chicago head coach Sarah O'Malley Fisher. Leading off and playing second base is Emily Garcia. She'll be followed by the designated player Caitlin Smith. The catcher Jessica Gang hits third, followed by the center fielder Mikyler Morris, who bats cleanup. Batting 5th, playing third base is Alyssa Campos. The shortstop Arissa Santos is in the 6th spot. 7, 8, and 9 are the first baseman Maya Lorenas, the left fielder Lindley Southern, and the right fielder Callie Tierney. Garcia, Smith, Gang, Morris, Campos, Santos, Lorenas, Southern, and Tierney. Batting lineup for Concordia Chicago, and senior right-hander Ashley Schroll out of Tampa, Florida, gets the ball for the 15th start and 19th appearance. 32 strikeouts in 63 innings. She's pitched to a 5-7 record with 2 saves and a .411 earned run average. That's your lineup. MSOE and Concordia Chicago getting set for game number 3 for MSOE here at the 2025 NACC softball tournament. Fred Schlesinger behind the plate here for our third game today. Simon Steiner will be the umpire at first, and Michael Naranjo will be at third. We're about to introduce the lineups here at Bedrosian Stadium, and then we will continue single elimination play at the NACC tournament. Stay with us. Our broadcast is presented in part by Kaufman GMC in Aurora, celebrating 75 years of service to Aurora and communities across Chicagoland. By Elite Management Properties, offering extensive student housing options around the Aurora University campus. And by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Game days are better with Cane's. Just about ready. Our third game today, it's Concordia Chicago and MSOE. And we're glad you're with us on this Thursday. Work day is wrapping up if you work the 8 to 5. So here is your excuse letter to take the rest of the day off and watch some softball. Who will advance to play Concordia, Wisconsin tomorrow? We will find out. Our first 2 games went by 4-1 scores. Can we go 3 for 3? Doesn't seem very likely, but you never know. Trends. You look for these things in my line of work. It is Ashley Schroll in the gray CUC home uniforms. They have a white front panel with maroon letters outlined in gold and white numbers. It reads Cougars on the uniform. MSOE in red uniform tops with black numbers, and the MSOE logo on the front, white pants, and red socks with black and white stripes. Here's the defensive alignment for CUC as they get ready for the top of the first. Jessica Gang is behind the plate. It's Alyssa Campos at third, Arissa Santos at short, Emily Garcia playing second, and Maya Lorenas over at first. Behind her in right field is Callie Tierney. It is Michaela Morris in center field, and Lindley Southern is playing in left. 200 to the foul poles here at Bedrosian, 220 to center. And a beautiful day for softball in the Fox River Valley. 62 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. We had a few earlier. They're gone. They're long gone for that matter. Wind coming in out of right center field still north of 15 and frequently over 20 miles per hour. It is gusty. But would you ask for anything better? And most importantly, it's dry. And should be for the entire tournament. Schroll ready for first pitch, and at 4:01 we are underway as Autumn Sadler takes ball one. 341 with a homer and 11 driven in the regular season for Sadler. She went 1 for 3 with a double against Aurora. Schroll's 1-0. Grounder to short. That's Santos on that. Throw to first in plenty of time. One away. Jenna O'Donnell to the plate. 1 for 3 with a double earlier. Was her 10th double of the season. She has 2 homers, 16 driven in. It's first pitch swinging, and that rolls through the middle and in the center field. MSOE is attacking early in count so far. Alyssa Jacobson on a less windy day would have hit one of the larger home runs I think I've ever seen here. And left field is probably the only place you're going to have a chance to get one out of here today, and she did with a 3-run homer that gave MSOE the lead. That's the wrong way. A high fly ball to right. The wind will certainly knock that down, and it's dropped by Tierney. A costly error. And there's 2 on and just 1 out on what should have been a routine fly ball. So a chance now for Jada Nelson, who's 1 for 3 today. She hits a fly ball in the right field. Tierney will have another chance. This time she makes the catch and sends it right back in. I don't know if that's the best or worst case scenario for Callie Tierney. You just drop a fly ball and immediately have to make a play. Might have been thinking, please, anybody but me. But now it's over and done with, and there's 2 outs for Carly Emery. First lefty in the MSOE order. Schroll starts her off with ball 1. 336, 3 homers, 28 driven in the regular season for the sophomore from Minnesota. 1 for 3 with a double. In the opener, it was her 11th double, which is the team leading mark. Counts 2-0. Schroll misses twice, trying to get out of a first inning jam. 3 straight misses to Emery. And make it a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs. Bases are loaded. So Schroll finds herself in a bit of a jam. A 4th-year starting pitcher who was sharp against the NACC, pitching to a 281 earned run average in 42 1/3 innings against conference opponents. Any runs that come in here would be unearned. She starts off Katie Pollock with strike 1. It's just the 5th time since entering the regular lineup on April 5th that she's batted in both games of a doubleheader. She's not pitching. She is the designated player. But hit .414 in the regular season with 8 doubles. And went 1 for 3 in the opener. Takes a strike and a ball. It's 1-1, and Schroll misses outside. It's Pollock who gets ahead. 6th spot. The MSOE order. Bases are loaded. The Raiders, who were so good with runners in scoring position in Game 1, going 4 of 8, trying to cash in their second opportunity. Pollock fouls off the 2-1. And now Schroll a strike away from exiting danger. The 2-2. Had the plate, did not have the zone. It's a full count, and the runners will be off on the release. Nowhere to put Katie Pollock. Payoff pitch, lined in the left field. It stays up, and Southern makes the catch. The side is retired. Bases left loaded. One hit, an error, and a walk. No runs in the top of the first. Concordia Chicago bats for the first time today coming up. Bryn Timmer in the circle. What a really strong finish to the season. Here's how her defense lines up for the Raiders' second game of the day. Autumn Sadler still behind the plate. Olivia Beals is at third. Caroline Forrest at short. Jenna O'Donnell plays second. Jada Nelson is at first. Emma Smith makes her first appearance of the tournament. She's in left field. Alyssa Jacobson is in center. And it's Carly Emery in right field. Timmer finished with 12 shutout innings last weekend, including a season-high 7 strikeouts against Lakeland. That got her NACC Pitcher of the Week honors. As an aside, the NACC Position Player of the Week is also in this game. And we'll see when she comes up in the order. She's not due up. We'll see if she gets in. We'll keep you in suspense. Unless you want to go to naccsports.org and just find out on your own. You're probably on the internet if you're watching this, so you've made it this far. But if you'd like to be kept in suspense, stay with us. Emily Garcia takes strike one from Bryn Timmer. Garcia hit .390 with 2 homers, 19 driven in the regular season. Sophomore from Eastvale, California. He's really put together a nice sophomore season. After a strike, she takes ball one, and the count is even as Timmer looks in. Into her windup, the 1-1 is cut on and missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And a 1-2, another swing and a miss. Timmer gets Garcia to expand the zone. And the breaking pitch gets the first out of the bottom of the first. Teams played on April 16th in MIlwaukee. MSOE won the first 8-0 in 5 innings. Concordia Chicago got the second game 10-5. Katie Pollock tossed a 1-hit shutout in the opener of that game. And then CUC had 16 hits in the second game. Caitlin Smith takes a strike and then swings and misses. And Timmer is quickly ahead of the junior from Georgia, 0-2. Smith hit .300, drove in 8 in the regular season. Batting from the right side, as are the first 8 spots in the CUC order. And Timmer misses way upstairs. The count runs to a ball and 2 strikes. It's the 1-2 to Smith in 2 spot. She swings and misses. Timmer to the heater that time. Well, it hasn't always been an easy freshman season for Bryn Timmer, but you can't argue with the results in May. And a quick start as Jessica Gang comes to the plate. 4-year starter from Phoenix. really put together a nice career for CUC and hit .395, team leading 15 doubles, 3 triples, and 29 driven in. She'll have a 2-0 count after Timmer misses twice. Gang hit .350 a year ago. And there evidently was another level because she's found it. Fly ball to right, slicing, and it's foul, and it will tumble into the MSOE bullpen. They're on the right field side for game 2 after being in the in the third base dugout against Aurora, who's normally in that dugout. It was strange. Aurora was wearing blue instead of their regular white uniforms. They're in the first base dugout. I was all mixed up. 2-1 pitch comes up and in. It's a 3-1 count to Gang. That's the thing about the conference tournament. Sometimes, you're used to seeing a team, they're not where you think they're going to be. 3-1 is a slow roller out to second. O'Donnell will field it. And the underhand toss to Nelson at first is in time. The Cougars go quietly in the bottom of the first. No score through 1 in Game C of the NACC tournament. Caroline Forrest starts off top of the second for MSOE. Bottom third of the Raiders' order. They left the bases loaded, but did not score in the first. Ashley Schroll will look for a little less drama. Starts off Forrest with a fastball down and in. 1 for 3 with an RBI. She's hit in 3 straight. Has the junior from Jackson Hole, Wyoming. She hit .389 in the regular season. Schroll misses with back-to-back pitches. And the count is 2-0. Well, the Dominican University Stars softball team has arrived. They're not playing. So they are very early for tomorrow's 6:30 game. We just have to tell them don't go to the batting cages. There's nothing to do right now. They're just here to take in a little bit of softball and see who they might be playing. However, it won't be one of these teams, at least not right away. They would get the winner of the final game of the day, Lakeland or Benedictine, as the number 2 seed in the tournament. Counts 3-1 the Forest. Schroll, that's a ground ball to short. That came up off the heel of the glove of Santos, and the throw's not in time. And it'll be an error to lead off the inning, the second of the game for CUC. They were in the top 5 of the NACC in fielding percentage. They've been fairly reliable, but a couple of errors in as many innings. And a tailor-made sacrifice situation for Olivia Beals, who bunts it to the third base side. Campos throws over to Garcia, covering the bag. And Emma Smith will bat for the first time. It's the second and final lefty in the Raiders order. 262, 3 driven in for the sophomore from Englewood, Ohio. First pitch, down and away. Grounder third base side. It was foul. Count 1-1. One pitch, another bunt attempt. It's foul. So now Smith in a bit of a challenging spot. Needing to protect, 1-2. Schroll's pitch, and it's bounced out to short. This time Santos fields it clean. Had to be quick, and it's not in time. Smith beat it out. Santos did everything right. Didn't get the call. So a brief meeting of the infield. Let's have another look. Can we do that? You be the judge. Looks like a good call to me. Runners on the corners for Autumn Sadler. Grounded out to short in her first trip. A show of bunt and then a throw into center field. It gets away. And Forrest scores on the throwing error. It's a stolen base. A taken ball. It's the third error of the game on CUC. That matches their season high, and we're in the top of the second. Schroll misses again upstairs to Sadler. Two out. Grounder to second. Garcia fields it cleanly. The throw to first is in time for the second out. Well, there's no doubt about it. At this point, Ashley Schroll needs a little bit more support from her defense. I don't know how else to put it. It's an unearned run. Anything else would be unearned. That's the second time I'm saying that. Jenna O'Donnell, first pitch swinging. It's into the sun. The center fielder Morris fights it. Makes the catch and ends the inning. A run unearned on a hit, 2 errors, and 1 left. Raiders strike first. MSOE is in front. They're 1.5, 1-0. Middle of the CUC order, Concordia Chicago trails MSOE 1-0 after an unearned run in the top of the second. Mikyler Morris swinging at the first pitch of the home half and shoots it through the right side. The Cougars' first hit against Bryn Timmer. Morris led the team with a .405 average, 4 homers and 32 driven in. He has been terrific. And now we have the matchup of the reigning NACC Players of the Week. Of course, Timmer, the pitcher, and then Alyssa Campos, who had a dream weekend. She fouls off the first pitch bunt attempt. So she hit .313, homered twice, drove in 22. Those homers were both against Concordia, Wisconsin. Those games were both losses. But she hit a pair of walk-off RBI singles to beat Dominican. No such heroics here. She'll just put down a sacrifice. And it will advance Morris to second. Now Arissa Santos, junior from Moreno Valley, California, digging in. She has 4 homers to match Morris for the team high. 19 driven in and .256 her average through regular season play. Second team all-conference her first 2 seasons. It's been a very important part of this Cougars lineup and has helped lead them back to the NACC tournament after a 7-year hiatus. Santos gets ahead as Timmer misses twice. It's 2-0. 3-0 as a freshman misses down and in with a fastball. First chance with a runner in scoring position today for CUC. 3-0 pitch, a 4-pitch walk. That will set up a play at any base for the freshman Maya Lorenas. Hit .300, but finished the season on an 0 for 13 skid. Would be a good time for her to heat back up. Freshman versus freshman, righty versus righty. Timmer is now missed with 5 straight as Lorenas gets ahead. No. Timmer finds the zone just under the letters, and the count's even. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lorenas with 2 on, 1 out in the bottom of the second. Cougars trailing 1-0. 1-1 pitch, a flip into right field, and just foul. That was 98% of the way to the destination, and I thought it was landing fair. A little too much spin at the end. Maybe a little assistance from the wind. Timmer's ready to go. Leaning in as Lorenas is back in. The 1-2 comes up and hits her on the shoulder. CUC came in tied for the league lead. For fewest hit batters. They hit one here and the bases are loaded. Lindley Southern, bases loaded, bouncer to second for 1, and they turn not in time. But Southern has tied the game with a productive RBI fielder's choice. And scores Morris, advances Santos to third, and Lorenas is out. The second out of the inning. 1-1, and the threat still going for Callie Tierney. She takes ball 1, hit .360 in the regular season with a homer, 6 driven in. Looks at a strike here. A single, and after a sacrifice, a walk, and a league-leading 26th hit by pitch. Followed by a fielder's choice to tie the game. Tierney offers at the 1-1, flips it foul on to the third base dugout. One, two as Timmer tries to get out of trouble. Fly ball to left. It's foul, and it will end up in the CUC bullpen. Add a run for, 1-2 is hit to third. Beals is there, and the throw to first is scooped out by Nelson. That will be the third and final out. A run on one hit, two left. All square. Both teams with a run in the second. And that's the score as we go to the third. 3-4-5 due up for MSOE. The top of the third inning, Alyssa Jacobson will start it off. Reached on a dropped fly ball in her first trip. 366, 6 homers, 21 driven in for Jacobson in the regular season. A 7-game hit streak after the go-ahead 3-run homer in Game 1. Ashley Schroll starts her off with ball one and then gets right back to work. And a hard hit grounder to short on one hop. Santos sweeps it up. Throws out Jacobson. 3 errors through 2 innings for the CUC defense. But that was a calm-looking fielding attempt. And we'll see if the Cougars can settle in. Jada Nelson hit .395 to lead the team. Also had 35 RBIs, but hits one weakly to second, and it eats up Garcia for CUC's 4th error today. Ashley Schroll has to be thinking, you've got to be kidding me right now. This is a good fielding CUC team. This is extremely unusual, and that was about as routine as it gets. So it's 1 on and 1 out for Carly Emery, who walked on 4 pitches last time up, and that's now 5 pitches and 5 wide ones, as Schroll does not appear to want anything to do with Emery. I mean, these aren't even close. But there's not an open base. You don't want to walk Nelson in the scoring position. Another pitch that's not especially close. So it appears that CUC is happy to just let Schroll go after somebody else. That's back-to-back 4-pitch walks. And once again, without the base open, Emery just walks to second base, and it's a little hard to understand. You have to go at somebody, and this is a good Milwaukee School of Engineering lineup. They've decided that Katie Pollock is who they're going to attack. She flew out to left, fouls off the first pitch of the third to Schroll. Senior right back to work and just misses above the letters. And SOE 1 of 5 so far with a runner in scoring position. Oh, Schroll, I think, would have preferred to have that call. That was a close pitch. Fred Schlesinger says it's a ball, and it's a 2-1 count to Pollock. And Schroll misses again, and she's a pitch away from walking the bases loaded. CUC is living dangerously right now. They have action in the bullpen. 3-1 is fouled off. Megan Bauska, the lefty, is loosening up if needed. Payoff pitch to Pollock. Came in on the hands, and it's lined to short, and it's an inning-ending double play. Santos slings it to Garcia. And that's it for the threat in the top of the third. No runs, no hits, an error, 1 left, 2.5 in. CUC and MSOE knotted up at 1. Second time through the order for Concordia Chicago about to begin. Emily Garcia, who was on the end of the inning-ending line-out double play, will look for a better result at the plate after she struck out in the first at-bat of the game for CUC. Bryn Timmer misses wide with the first pitch. The sophomore. 1-0. Runs up and in, and it hit Garcia. You don't lead the league in getting hit by pitches by accident. You are up on the plate. You don't give the opposing pitcher much to work with if you want to come inside. The leadoff batter is on, and Caitlin Smith steps in. We'll see if she's ready to bunt. The corners certainly seem to think she is. Timmer misses wide on the first pitch. Want to know, we'll see if Smith tries again. She is tied for second in the conference with 10 sacrifice bunts, so it certainly is not a matter of being able to execute, and you can see that she's choosy about what she's going to put down. She took a high pitch for ball 2, and then is taking on 2-0 and gets ahead 3-0. Well, why put down a sacrifice if you can just walk to first base? Move everyone up in the process. 3-0 to Smith. Right down the middle. Will Sarah O'Malley Fisher put the bunt back on? She does, and it's up the first base side. Nelson will field it and throw to O'Donnell covering first. One away, and CUC will try to advance the line, and Jessica Gang Grounded out to second in her first trip. Steps to the plate. Timmer in some trouble in the bottom of the third. Misses high to begin the at-bat with Gang. One out. Finds the inside corner. Timmer takes a look. Here's the 1-1. Gang pops it up. Forrest, the shortstop, backs onto the outfield grass. I did not see a signal for the infield fly rule, but Forrest made the catch anyway. And there's 2 away. So it's up to Kyler Morris, who singled and scored in the second. First pitch swinging and rolls it through the middle. Garcia around third. The throw home is cut off. Morris is 2 for 2, and she has given CUC the lead. It did not have a lot on it. It just sort of tumbled out there through the middle, and no one could get there. Now Alyssa Campos shoots the first pitch foul and out of play. A sacrifice in her first attempt. Oh, 1 is flipped in the left. Running on is Smith. She'll make the catch in the alley, and that will end the bottom of the third. CUC takes the lead. A run on 1 hit. They leave 1. 2-1. Cougars advantage as we go to the 4th. Two-one, Concordia, Chicago, the advantage. Top of the 4th inning, bottom third of the order, you up for MSO. We were just remarking here, Bryce and I, during the break, how there's been a wide variety of music here between games, between innings. Well, first off, let's get Caroline Forrest started. First pitch swinging and a chopper to third. Backhand stop Campos. And Forrest is thrown out on 1 pitch to begin the 4th. It's a lot of country for the first 2 games. Aurora and MSOE, and then really kind of continued into most of the Lakeland Marion game. A little more pop here. We were coming up with suggestions for some other options. Olivia Beals almost hit Emma Smith in the on-deck circle with a foul ball. I suggested metal. That's not really a crowd pleaser necessarily, but why not? You throw out some bluegrass, that's an option. We've had it all. We haven't had it all. We've had a lot. They should let us put in requests. That's not anyone else, just us. We'll keep it within the press box. You get 1 per game. Right. Family friendly. Beals has fouled off the first 2 pitches from Schroll, who comes up and in. Counts 1 and 2. In fact, they can make it even more fun. They can create a box with a little hole in it, and then they can just sort of pull them out So then it's random. You don't know when you're going to get your request fulfilled. Another foul ball from Beals. The count stays 1-2. I am going to write a strongly worded letter to the tournament director, who also happens to be my supervisor in this role. Brian Kipley does a great job. Let's make some changes, Brian. Let's get a request system up here. I think that's what's needed. Ball 2 to Beals. One out, top of the fourth. Another foul ball. A freshman, a Lake Central High School alum, not going anywhere at the plate for MSOE. Here's the 2-2. Off the handle into the netting again. And we even haven't had the true staples just yet. No YMCA yet. That's a classic ballpark tune. Haven't had that yet. My wife discovered that I didn't have the correct motion for how to. Well, I didn't have the M right. I thought you just put your arms out at your side. Apparently, you're supposed to make an M on top of your head. I didn't know that. I've been doing the YMCA wrong for 30 years. My wife was left absolutely speechless, and I still hear about it. These are the things that happen when you get married. You have one embarrassing mistake, they bring it up for the rest of your life. Counts full to Olivia Beals. Here's the 3-2, and that's fouled straight back. There are married couples who are listening to this and who are nodding along with a wry smile. They know the deal. Count remains full to Beals. Here's the payoff pitch. They're going to run out of baseballs. Eleventh pitch coming up. Control, retire Beals. Here she does. Gets the strikeout on the riser, up and in. 2 down. Doesn't feel much like a 2-up, 2-down situation, though, does it? Emma Smith singled in her first trip. She bats with the bases empty and 2 outs. 2-1 CUC in the top of the fourth. Slap hit attempt is tapped foul. Another suggestion, since we're on the music hour here this inning. How about organ? I mean, we don't have a real organ, but how about some organ tunes? I'm going to make that suggestion between innings. Here's a tapper to third, running onto it. Campos, throw to first in time, and the inning is over. 1-2-3, go the Raiders in the top of the fourth. It's 2-1. Concordia, Chicago, halfway home in our third game of the NACC tournament. Bottom of the fourth inning, 6-7-8 due up for Concordia, Chicago. The Cougars lead 2-1. Arissa Santos at the plate facing Bryn Timmer. taking strike one under the letters. Santos reached on a walk. The 4-pitch variety coming in. A run in the second and one in the third for CUC to take the lead and find themselves locked into another close one. Santos fouls off the 0-1. 9-1 in one-run games. 8-1 against NACC opponents were the Cougars this year. 9-2 against the league in games decided by 2 or less. 3 walk-off wins, all against the NACC, twice in extras, twice against their arch-rival Dominican, and both of those against the Stars when trailing in the bottom of the last inning. Once was in extras. Here's a fly ball to right. Emery has to go back and makes the catch. She advanced near the foul line. 1 away. CUC really set themselves up with a 9-game conference winning streak to begin April. They split their last 12 conference games, but had put themselves in a situation where it would be near impossible to miss the field short of a total collapse, which did not happen. And then you win all of those tight games, and that's how you get a 12-win turnaround and find your way back into the conference tournament with a bye through the first round of single elimination. They were voted to finish 11th in the NACC. Most of the preseason voters didn't think CUC would be anywhere near the conference tournament, let alone in the top half of the seeding. So a credit to this coaching staff and their ability to lock down close games. Here's a flip to right center. Maya Lorenas has a 1-out hit. You know, and really it's finding a way through those close games that can be the difference between having a truly great season and barely getting in or not making the field at all. You look at Lakeland. A lot of close games. They were in the final last season. They were tied for 7th, one of the last 2 teams in. They're still playing. We'll see them again later. But it could have been a totally different situation if they had found a way to win a few more close games throughout the season. CUC's been doing that all year. So up 2-1. This is an unfazed Cougars team. They're right. They have MSOE right where they want them, but can they hold on is the question. Lindley Southern has a 1-1 count in the 8th spot of the Cougars order. It's a drag bunt up the third base side. Beals did well to field that and then fire over. O'Donnell was covering the bag at first. I believe it'll be a sacrifice, but it was not a situation at all where she telegraphed their intentions. A nice job all over the field there. And I don't think they're going to give a sacrifice. Callie Tierney base hit up the middle. Lorenas is going to hold at third. So Tierney has her first base hit of the day, and there's runners on the corners with 2 outs for Emily Garcia at the top of the order. A strikeout and hit by a pitch. She scored the go-ahead run. Offers at the first heave from Timmer and fouls it straight back into the netting. CUC has not lost when leading through 4 innings. 17-0-1. You're thinking a tie. Well, there's a game against Lake Forest that ended in a tie due to darkness. Fly ball on the left. Smith sizes it up. She makes the catch. Garcia is retired. So are the Cougars in the bottom of the 4th. 2 hits. Runners left on the corners. No runs. We're off to the 5th. Concordia Chicago leads MSOE 2-1. Top of the lineup due up to begin the fifth for MSOE. The Raiders trail Concordia Chicago 2-1. Autumn Sadler first pitch swinging and shoots it foul. 0 for 2. Has hit in 11 straight after a double in the opening game over Aurora. Trying to set the table for the Raiders. Ashley Schroll has not exactly gotten a large amount of help from the defense at times, but has allowed just an unearned run on 2 hits. He's worked around some traffic and has the lead. Counts 1-1. Now 2-1 as Sadler, who's a catcher, shows excellent command of the strike zone and moves ahead in the count. 2-1. That one runs up and out of the zone. 3-1 now. Sadler should get a good pitch to hit, and instead is not tempted and walks to lead off the fifth. Jenna O'Donnell was fifth in the NACC with 9 sacrifices. She will wait a moment as CUC comes out for a mound visit. I think this is just to talk strategy. And there's 2 separate discussions as Sarah O'Malley-Fisher is out with the infield, while someone else has a word with the pitching staff. Discussion over. O'Donnell's 1 for 2. It would be astonishing if this was anything but a sacrifice. 3 for 3 earlier. Bunt down, it's foul. And it was narrowly foul. That was touched very early by CUC. I think Sierra Spyu thinks that was on the chalk and is coming to let Fred Schlesinger know what she thought. There's no overruling that, though. I will say this, it was going foul. CUC was a bit too eager. Counts 0-1. O'Donnell now swinging and pops it up. Shallow left. Santos will make the play. And Sierra Spyu does not seem to be real happy with that decision. One away and one on for Alyssa Jacobson. 0 for 2 so far. First pitch swinging into the net. Bedrosian Stadium here at Spartan Athletic Park. Aurora University about the width of a golf course away from here. Literally, there's a golf course between here and there. That's the difference. Ball 1 to Jacobson. Beautiful campus, especially this time of year. You really get in the late spring around commencement time. A lovely place to be. Just all over the Fox River Valley. Ground ball to second. To second for 1. The turn's not in time. Garcia did not get a lot on that throw after Santos made a nice play at short. Fielder's choice, and it's a 2-out situation for Jada Nelson. She is 0 for 2. Saying that a lot. MSOE, with 9 hits in the opener, has struggled so far through 4 2/3. Nelson's first attempt is knocked off of the screen. Third attempt to extend an 11-game hit streak. The sophomore from Appleton, Wisconsin, she does. Scorches a grounder up the middle. Jacobson pulls up at second. And it's Carly Emery who has been walked on 4 pitches twice. And it is not clear that CUC is going to pitch to her. Would they walk the tying run to third? Well, this time they go at Emory, and maybe it's a matter of not having any choice, but Emory finally gets the swing and hits it foul. Doubled earlier against Aurora. Of course, the 2 walks already. Schroll takes a look. Here's the 0-1. That one's well outside. For how much that pitch missed, it almost makes you wonder if the first was a mistake. 1-1. In the zone, and a drive to left center field. Southern goes back and can't get there. It tumbles over the wall, and that will keep Nelson from coming around to give MSOE the lead. Jacobson scores to tie the game. Emory has an automatic double to drive in the tying run. Once again, a new game in the top of the 5th now. Katie Pollock is 0 for 2, batting with 2 in scoring position. And 2 outs. She can give the Raiders the lead. Schroll misses with the first pitch. Not a lot of good options here. If you walk Pollock, you have to deal with Forrest. If you come at Pollock, she can do damage. Ashley Schroll will have to be at her best here. Ground ball up the middle and through. MSOE has the lead. Throw comes back in. There will be runners on the corners with Emory at third, Pollock on first. Nelson scores. Raiders have 2 in this inning to lead 3-2. Caroline Forrest, after 3 straight hits, comes to the plate looking for her first of the game, and it's a grounder to second. Bounced up into Garcia. She goes to second for the fielder's choice, and that will end the inning. Raiders back into the lead. 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 left. To the bottom of the 5th. CUC trailing. It's 3-2. Our broadcast is presented in part by Kaufman GMC in Aurora, by Elite Management Properties, by Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. Caitlin Smith, first pitch swinging. Out to second base, O'Donnell is there, and she'll throw out Smith. The first out of the bottom of the 5th. It's 2-1. Make that 3-2. It had been 2-1. Now it's 3-2, and it had been CUC leading. Now it's the Raiders on top. Jessica Gang to the plate with 1 out. She's 0 for 2. Bryn Timmer starts her off with a high fastball. A couple of teams that have been just about automatic with late leads. But a lead change. 2-0, the first two missed to Gang, the senior, and now Timmer tries to find the zone and misses for a third time. On the cusp of putting the tying run right back on base. 3-0 pitch down and in. Gang's aboard with a 1-out walk. And Sierra Spyu's out to discuss how to handle Mikyler Morris. He was 2 for 2. Hard hit single to right. And a trickler up the middle that drove in a run. It's a strange situation. Morris has 4 sacrifices. However, there's 1 out. You don't see a ton of sacrifices with 1 out, although we did see several in our first game today, which is very unusual, but that should tell you how much runs are at a premium this time of year. However, Morris is also the team's leader in slugging and has give the Cougars the lead type of power. Even on a day like today, the wind has shifted in from straight right field now. So I think more of left field's available if you can give one a ride. First pitch is nearly down the middle as Morris was taking the whole way. Gang is not really a base stealer, although she is 6 for 6 if she's given the sign. 0-1 the Morris way out in front. Huge swing. Not a lot of contact. In fact, none, and the count's 0-2. 1 out, 1 on. Raiders up 2-1, bottom of the 5th. I keep saying 2-1. It's 3-2. It's right there in front of me. 0-2 is way too high. It was 2-1, not even for that long. I don't know why I'm stuck on this score. I need you to stand out in front of the first row, holding up 3-2. 1-2's too high. This is not a good sign if the delirium has set in on the first day of the tournament. Got a long way to go. 2-2 to Morris. Down and in. Close pitch. And Morris has worked the count full. How dangerous is the sophomore from Belvedere in the 10-inning win against Dominican Saturday? 2 homers, 7 driven in. She works the 1-out walk, the second straight free pass. The tying run is in the scoring position. MSOE gets action up in the bullpen. Katie Pollock, who threw 111 pitches in the opener, is getting loose. And so is the right-hander Marissa Collazo. Alyssa Campos, 0 for 1 at the plate and looking at strike 1. Sierra Spyu wants options. So both lanes are in use in the Raiders' pen. 0-1 to Campos, and she pops it up. Infield fly rules in effect. Forrest makes the catch anyway. There's 2 away. Not time to exhale as Arissa Santos, the 2-time all-conference pick, digs in. That has not been the year I'm sure she envisioned coming in. She can deliver the Cougars the lead. If she can find a gap or at the very least tie the game. 0-1. The walk and a fly out today. Fastball well off the plate. And evens the count. Freshman Maya Lorenas waiting on deck. Will she bat this inning? 1-1 is lined in the left center field all the way to the wall. This game is tied as Gang scores. Morris tries to score from first. She does. A roller coaster of a game. Here in the third game of the day, it's a 2-run double for Arissa Santos. And minutes after retaking the lead, MSOE gives it right back. 4-3 now. Maya Lorenas takes a strike. She can extend the lead. Hit by a pitch and a single to right. Her trips today. 0-1 is popped up. O'Donnell, the second baseman, has it. That ends the inning. What a game. 2 runs on 1 hit. The Arissa Santos double. 1 left. Both teams with 2 in the 5th. That gives Concordia Chicago the lead. Headed to the 6th. It's 4-3 here at Bedrosian. Olivia Beals, in the 8th spot of the MSOE order, leads off the top of the 6th. 4-3, Concordia Chicago in front. Beals is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice. First pitch, Mashley Schroll misses wide. Schroll has battled. 3 runs, 2 earned in 5 innings. She, like her counterpart Bryn Timmer, has allowed 5 hits and walked 3. Lines are very similar, but indeed they are not identical. And Schroll pitches with the lead while Timmer looks on from the dugout, hoping the bats can get her the lead back. First 2 are misses to Beals. The 2-0 is also too high. Beals had a 12-pitch plate appearance back in the 4th. Was trying to see how many crates of softballs she could go through single-handedly. Takes a strike. Nearly got through 2 full. There's 6 in a box. In fact, she did get through 2 full. 3-1. Off the handle and foul. Count is full. Activity resumes in the CUC pen. Alyssa Lopez is out throwing. Another righty out there as well. Ground ball to short. Santos did not field it clean, and then the throw was in the dirt. It's the 5th error on Concordia Chicago. That's hard to come back from. The other right-hander in the bullpen is Eden Pufall. Once again, Schroll having to work out of some, I guess we can call it a defensively induced jam. You're not going to win a lot of games committing 5 errors, and they have the lead in the 6th. Well, Emma Smith put down a sacrifice. She's a lefty, and she does. Fielded on 1 hop by Campos. Throw is immediately over to Lorenas. Not even the second baseman needed to cover the bag that time. It was so bang bang. Autumn Sadler will try to tie the ball game. She walked last time up after a couple of ground outs earlier in the game. First pitch from Schroll. A good one over the inside corner for strike 1. 0-1. Schroll back to the heat. Finds the outside corner this time. She gets ahead of Sadler, 0-2. Sadler protecting. Fights off a chin-high heat. Count stays 0-2. Schroll back into her motion. Sadler spoils another. It's been a wild one here. 3 lead changes. Punches, counter punches. Not everything you'd like. The season on the line for both teams. A miss to Sadler, and then the 1-2 grounded up the middle. This one gets up into the shoulder of Santos, but she settles it and throws out Sadler. Freshman's 0 for 3. There's 2 outs. Beals advances to third. Now, Jenna O'Donnell has 4 hits in a couple of games. 1 for 3 in game 2. 16 driven in on the season. 17 would tie the ball game. Takes ball 1 from Schroll. Back into her windup. Rolled through the left side. Tie ball game as the senior O'Donnell comes through again. Another unearned run. It's 4-all in the top of the 6th. Alyssa Jacobson will try to extend the inning. Schroll misses well outside. Counts 1-0. Two and 0. Jacobson with a towering homer in game 1. Right now not getting much to hit, and it certainly seems like Concordia Chicago coaching staff has baked that into this trip. 3-0 down the middle. Now it's risk reward. They're clearly trying not to make a mistake down the middle. But if you nibble, you risk walking the go-ahead run in the scoring position. A bloop to center, running on, and it falls between Santos and Morris. They throw to third. O'Donnell slides in safe. The ball rolls away. There's no advance. Jacobson got out the 56-degree wedge and stuck it inches from the pin. Runners on the corners. I'll meet at the pitching circle for a moment. Sierra Spyu's making a change on the base paths for Jacobson. Which is interesting because Jacobson plays center field. You don't see them lifted for a pinch runner that often. That's about the very last person you see taken out of the lineup for a pinch runner. I didn't see the number. Bryn Kerber will come in. So another meeting at the mound. I've just been informed. I was remarking, I don't think I'd ever seen that. I was reminded we just saw the center fielder pitch run for last game. Matty Rasky was run for. Any edge you can get in a tie ball game. Jada Nelson with runners on the corners can give MSOE the lead. First pitch swinging and a drive into the left field gap. O'Donnell scores. Around first, around third comes Kerber. She scores. Nelson is standing on third. MSOE is in front. It's a double and then an extra base on Concordia Chicago's 6th error. And that's going to end the day for Ashley Schroll. Pitching change here with 2 outs. The top of the 6th, MSOE with 3 runs to take the lead at 6-4 in the NACC tournament. Ashley Schroll leaves in line for the loss. 6 runs, only 2 earned in 5 2/3 innings, and she yields to the left-handed sophomore Megan Bauska from nearby Plainfield. It's her 23rd appearance, 5.49 ERA and 44 2/3 innings. She'll face Carly Emery with 2 outs. Ground ball to second. That one off the heel of the glove of Garcia, but she stays with it. Throws out Emery, and the inning is over. But it's 3 more unearned runs on 3 hits, an error, and 1 left. In fact, 2 errors, I stand corrected. Now it's comeback time for Concordia Chicago. They had a 4-3 lead entering the 6th. They go to the home half, trailing 6-4. The way this game has gone, it may not be over just yet, but defense has been a major story in this game for a Concordia Chicago defense that had been pretty reliable all season long. They have doubled their previous season high with 6 errors. It has been a mess in the field for CUC today, and it is very much the difference right now. They've had an error in the field in 4 of the 6 innings. That's not great. Lindley Southern fouls off. First pitch from Bryn Timmer. A pop-up 0-1, and Bryn Timmer is going to take it herself. One away. Someone from Benedictine just came up and tried to give me a coffee. It was not for me. If you were wondering, I was very confused for a moment. Benedictine plays next. These are the things that happen in the conference tournament, Bryce. It's an experience, my friend. 1-0 to Callie Tierney. She's 1 for 2. Here's a liner into the gap. Good angle by Smith, who was going to hold Tierney to a single. Tying run will come to the plate, and it's Emily Garcia at the top of the Concordia Chicago order. Garcia's 0 for 2. Now, there has been a change in the field as Alyssa Jacobson has just been removed from the game. So Emma Smith has moved in the center field, and Bryn Kerber, who ran for her, is in left field. First pitch swinging Garcia and pops it up to Nelson at third base. A very quick second out. And that'll bring Caitlin Smith to the plate, trying to extend the inning. She takes strike one. So some defensive changes for MSOE as they try to finish the job. 0-1 misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. 6-4 MSOE. The 1-1 on the way. Does not find the zone. The junior does not have a home run in her career. If she came up with one, it would tie the game. Slow roller off the handle up the middle. Forrest, the shortstop, fields it. Throw to first gets Smith by a step. Concordia Chicago retired in the bottom of the 6th. 1 hit, 1 left to the 7th. MSOE looking to add runs to their lead. It's a 2-run lead on a 6-4 game. MSOE with a 6-4 lead going to the top of the 7th. Katie Pollock, Caroline Forrest, and Olivia Beals due up. Pollock is 1 for 3. And an RBI single in the 5th that gave MSOE the lead, a lead they would not hold on to, although they would claw it back in the 6th. RBI single from Jenna O'Donnell and a 2-run double from Jaden Nelson. Bauska starts off Pollock with a breaking ball for a strike. First left-handed pitcher we've seen today. This is down and away. In fact, Bauska really the only frequently seen left-handed pitcher in the tournament. 1-1 to Pollock. Hit hard in the left. Leadoff single. So will Forrest lay down a sacrifice, or will she be given the green light to swing away? Forrest does not hit for a ton of power. Well, she's certainly capable of it. She has in the past as she takes ball 1. 7 doubles a year ago and 8 as a freshman, so it is certainly a strange line to not have any. Here's a roller to second. Garcia to second for 1. The turn from Santos is not in time. Fielder's choice will put Forrest in Pollock's place as Beals comes to the plate. Beals is 0 for 2. Reached on an error to lead off last inning and came around to tie the game. She was plated by Jenna O'Donnell. Bauska misses down and away. Counts 1-0. One out. Line drive into left field. Good angle by Southern will keep that to a single for Beals. It's her first hit of the conference tournament. 2 on and 1 out for Emma Smith. One for 2. Left-handed now center fielder. She shows bunt and takes a breaking ball for a strike. Be a tough spot, a lefty-lefty matchup that, again, Smith is not going to see a ton. 0-1. Popped up. Garcia runs on, makes the catch, and a very odd decision by Caroline Forrest to be running. She is easily doubled off. So the pop out leads to a 4-6 double play, and it ends the threat in the top of the 7th. No runs on 2 hits, 1 left, but it's last chance time for Concordia Chicago. MSOE trying to come out of the first round of double elimination, or of single elimination, to play in double elimination. Our 3 outs from the win, leading 6-4. Katie Pollock is in looking for her first save of the season. Entered play with a 3.42 ERA and 143 1/3 innings, 133 strikeouts. Just her 7th appearance out of the bullpen after allowing an unearned run in a complete game win over Aurora earlier. She threw 111 pitches, but has also had about 4 hours to rest. So she is in, facing 3, 4, and 5 in the Concordia Chicago lineup. The Raiders leading 6-4. Jessica Gang will start it off. Takes a strike. Gang 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. 0-1, caught on and missed. And Gang falls behind 0-2. Here's the 0-2. That's wild. Well off the plate. Story of this ball game is going to be defense. Grounder up the middle to her left. Forrest fields it and throws out Gang by a step. And there you see it on display. If you look at the errors column, 6 for Concordia Chicago and a bagel for MSOE. First pitch swinging, Kyler Morris, and she fouls it off. These are the types of games that CUC has won all season long. But the defense let them down. Morris a fly ball to right. And Embry gets turned around. She bobbles it and hangs on. And Concordia Chicago is down to its last out. Alyssa Campos is 0 for 2. The final conference position player of the week of the season, trying to start a 2-out rally. Pop up right side. O'Donnell can't run it down. And the game continues. Tying run comes to the plate. And it's Arissa Santos, who is very capable of tying this game with a swing. 4 homers, the top 10 in the league. He takes ball 1 on the fastball down and in. Had a 2-run double in the 5th. That gave CUC the lead. Walked in the 2nd, had a fly out in between. But first, there will be a visit at the circle as MSOE wants to discuss what to do. Counts 1-0 to Santos. Wind is shifted and is blowing more in from left field, which is probably the best case scenario for MSOE right now. Santos takes a strike. You're not thinking about a home run. You're thinking about good contact, extend the game. Check swing on the riser. No appeal. It's ball 2. 2-1 to Santos. Cut on and missed. MSOE a strike away from being guaranteed to play on Saturday. 2-2 pitch. That's outside. The count is full. Campos will be running. Payoff pitch. It's fouled off. We'll do it again. It'll be the second career save for Katie Pollock if she can come up with one more pitch. Would end a season for Concordia Chicago. It was a remarkable turnaround year over year. 3-2, spoiled again. Does this game have one final twist? Four lead changes. 3-2 again. It's too high. The winning run will come to the plate after Santos reaches on a walk. but it will not be Maya Lorenis. It'll be batting. Emily Lucaro will bat in a pinch hit spot for Lorenis. Lucaro, the freshman from California, hitting .308 with 3 doubles and 3 RBIs. There's also a pinch runner. It's Haley Goolsby has entered at second base. First pitch to Lucaro, misses. It's 1-0. And then a foul ball. One. 2 outs. A 2-run lead. Pollock misses high. Two-one pitch. Off the handle, foul, and once again, CUC down to its final strike. A gapper ties the game in all probability. Home run ends it. Anything else will either play on or it's over. A lot in play here. Another foul ball as Lucaro battling. What a spot for the freshman to be in. Pollock's 2-2. It's on the way. Cut on and missed. The game is over. MSOE needed to win twice. They do win twice. And they advance to double elimination play with a 6-4 win over Concordia, Chicago. 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors for MSOE. They leave 9, but the 6 errors for Concordia, Chicago, and 4 unearned runs are the difference. 4 runs, 7 hits, and 9 left for the Cougars in the loss. Bryn Timmer goes 6 innings, a 4-run ball, and picks up her 6th win of the season. She is 6-8. Ashley Schroll with a tough luck loss falls to 5-8. And Katie Pollock tossed a scoreless 7th for her first save of the season. So MSOE gets back to 500. They are 21-21 going to play tomorrow, where they'll take on number 1 Concordia, Wisconsin at 4 o'clock as they begin Friday's play against each other. Concordia, Chicago, a spectacular season and massive turnaround to be here. Their season will end at 23-17-1. 1 hour and 38 minutes, our game time of the 3rd game of the day. Which brings us to the last. 3 teams are in the double elimination bracket. And now we'll find out if 7th-seeded Lakeland or 3rd-seeded Benedictine will join them. First pitch scheduled for 6:30. We hope you'll join us. For our technical director, Bryce Suter, I'm Sean Fry. This is the 2025 NACC Softball Tournament. And we'll see you in 50 minutes.